December 656 AD. A fierce battle brews in the heart of the Muslim world. The assassination of Caliph Uthman has set the stage for a confrontation between two powerful factions within the Ummah. But unlike the men who would traditionally lead the armies, one woman, Aisha, rises to the occasion, becoming the face of resistance and rebellion. This is how Aisha spearheaded the Battle of the Camel. Following the murder of Uthman, the Muslim community is split. Some call for justice while others push for peace. Aisha, driven by a sense of duty to avenge Uthman's death, takes charge of the movement. But she is not alone. She is joined by two of the Prophet's alleged closest companions, Zubair and Talha, who share her resolve to avenge the now slain Caliph Uthman. In the city of Mecca, Aisha steps forward as the leader of a growing rebellion. She becomes the rallying cry for those who demand justice for Uthman, vowing to take matters into her own hands. Zubair and Talha, powerful figures in their own right, lend their support. But it is Aisha who leads the charge. In December, Aisha arrives in Basra, where the flames of rebellion threaten to engulf the city. As the people of Basra gather, the speeches of Zubair and Talha stir up emotions. But it is Aisha who commands the city's attention. With her authority as the mother of the faithful, she quickly secures the loyalty of many factions, though some Basrans remain skeptical of her cause. The marketplace becomes a microcosm of the tension that simmers in the city. As the first skirmishes break out, it is clear that Aisha's leadership has already ignited the spark of rebellion. Though the fighting is disorganized, Aisha's force is undeniable, and Basra is soon on the brink of open revolt. Governor Uthman ibn Hunayf, loyal to Ali, faces a difficult decision. Though he prefers to avoid bloodshed, he knows the city's loyalty must be secured. Ali's message reaches him, giving him an ultimatum: loyalty to the Caliph or open warfare. But by the time this message arrives, Aisha's forces are already entrenched, and the die is cast. In a bold move, Aisha's forces capture Uthman ibn Hunayf during his evening prayers. He is stripped of dignity and imprisoned as a symbol of their rebellion. The first bloodshed is drawn and there is no turning back. Aisha's role as the head of the rebellion becomes ever clearer. Though Zubair and Talha play important roles, it is Aisha who makes the critical decisions. Behind the scenes, another figure lurks: Marwan ibn al-Hakam, once a close advisor to Uthman and a man with his own ambitions. Though he does not openly lead, Marwan's influence cannot be ignored. He sees in Aisha's rebellion an opportunity for his own rise to power, and soon he will act decisively. The Battle of the Camel was a pivotal clash between Caliph Ali and the forces led by Aisha, Talha, and Zubair. As Ali marched toward Basra with a swelling army from Kufa and Medina, his aim was to preserve the unity of the Ummah and affirm his legitimacy as Caliph. Despite Ali's larger numbers, Aisha's forces, strengthened by her allies, stood resolute. Aisha, leading from her camel, was the symbol of the rebellion, while Zubair and Talha fought valiantly for her cause. However, as the tide shifted, Zubair deserted in doubt, and Marwan betrayed Talha, striking him down with an arrow. Even after the loss of her closest allies, Aisha's resolve did not waver, but Ali's forces ultimately broke through, forcing a retreat. The defeat marked the end of Aisha's campaign, though her influence and legacy as a leader in the struggle for Uthman's vengeance endured. The battle left lasting scars on the early caliphate, shaping the future of the Islamic world through lessons of ambition, leadership, and the cost of civil strife.
This hadith starts at Abu Bakr. then transmits it down to Al-Hasan al-Basri, and then Al-Hasan transmits it to Mubarak, Auf, and Humayd. So we go through the Humayd bundle. Humayd transmits it to Khalid ibn al-Harith. Then Khalid transmits it to Muhammad ibn al-Muthana, who canonizes it in 2 Nasa'i works and 1 Tirmidhi. And then he goes on to tell Al-Haytham to Abu Ali, and it's recorded in Hakim 4608. And then same thing here, Khalid to this chain, and then Khalid to this chain. I go back to Al-Hasan, to Auf. Auf transmits it to Safwan, to Bakar, to Abu al-Abbas. Then Auf to Uthman, to Ishaq and Hisham, and they both transmit to Ahmad, to Abu al-Hasan. Then Bayhaqi reports 2 of these hadith. And then finally, Al-Hasan to Mubarak, Ahmad to Muhammad and Ibn Hibban, Mubarak to Yazid, and Mubarak to Hashim. Okay, and so let's look at the actual text of the hadith. Abu Bakr said, "When the day of Al-Jamal came, I wanted to go and fight with them, until I remembered a hadith. I had heard from the Messenger of Allah that it had been reported to him that Kisra, or some of the kings of the Arabs, had died, and they had put a woman in charge of them. The Messenger of Allah said, there will be no success for a people ruled by a woman." And we see the same portion of the hadith where it says Abu Bakr was contemplating this hadith when he wanted to go fight in the Battle of the Camel, which is the event of Aisha's, I suppose you can call it, an attempted coup against Ali. At least that's what Abu Bakr thinks of it. After I was about to join the companions of the camel, then he narrates the hadith about the Prophet saying that if you elect a woman to lead you, your country will essentially not succeed. Find the same sentiment Bukhari 7099, Bukhari 4425, Bayhaqi 20362. People who put a woman in charge will not be successful. So what's the reason for this hadith? Like, why is it saying constantly that if you place a woman in charge, there will be no success for that country or nation? The reason, because it's Aisha. This person that Abu Bakr is kind of alluding to, that there will be no success for a people ruled by women, he's talking about Aisha. Because we have to remember, all of this occurred in Basra, right? This whole feud about Ali and Aisha, this occurred in Basra. And all of these blue narrators are Basran hadith narrators. So they're narrating a hadith that fights this notion that women can rule. And coincidentally, there's the Battle of the Camel with a woman who's leading one side and Ali who's leading another side. And Ali's side is the Basran side. The Basrans were supporting Ali. And it was Aisha's side that took Uthman ibn Hunayf, one of the leaders of Basra at the time, as captive. So there's a clear motive for Basrans to fabricate a hadith saying, oh, well, the Prophet said if you leave a woman in charge, the country just will never be successful. But the thing is, who created the fabrication? Right? We see in this version, hadith is only narrating this part: people who are ruled by women will not succeed. The part about, the Persian king is missing. But Auf transmits it. One day at the Battle of Camel, I, Abu Bakr, was about to join and fight with them, but then I remembered a hadith. I heard the messenger say, it reached them that Kisra, or some of the kings of the non-Arabs, had died. They appointed a woman to rule. So this part is absent in these narrations, the one that go through Mubarak. In this one, the Kisra Persian part is here. It's in here. So all the Auf narrations have it. The Khalid ones, let's see, Kisra, yes, it has it. Kisra. This one is a variant. It doesn't say Persia, it says Yemen. The king of Dihyan, king of Yemen, had passed away and they appointed a woman as a ruler. The prophet said, a people who are ruled by women will never prosper. It's the only one that says king of Yemen. So this must be a variant. Somebody within this chain mixed up Yemen and Persia. So they made a mistake. This one, same thing, Kisra. Right? Let's see. Right, so these are the meta-analysis. And this hadith, at least this bundle through Muhammad ibn Muthana, kind of makes it clear it's about Aisha because he explicitly says his name. He said, when Aisha came, I mentioned the words of the Messenger of Allah, and Allah protected me with it on the condition of Bukhari and Muslim. He said, when Aisha came to Basra, I remembered the words of the Messenger of Allah, and Allah protected me with it. So they're bringing up this idea that people narrating this hadith remembered all of a sudden, oh wait, this exact event of Aisha wanting to lead occurred in Basra, which is quite coincidental. The thing is, who created this fabrication? Al-Hasan al-Basri is a common link, right? And so it seems likely that he could have been the one who fabricated it. The only issue is that if he did, he would have had to have been 14. So he was born in 642, and the Battle of the Camel occurred in 656. There would be no point to fabricate the hadith after the Battle of the Camel. It would have had to have been fabricated during the event to deter people from siding with Aisha. So likely it was Abu Bakr, who was a companion of the Prophet, likely sided with Ali's side and so created this false hadith, transmitted it to Al-Hasan al-Basri, who proliferated it. That seems like the most likely of scenarios. And Auf keeps the portion of the Persian hadith. That must have been a part of the original hadith because Humayd and Khalid receive it and they transmit it, with this chain being defective in the sense that it's one of the transmitters mess up and say the Yemeni king rather than the Persian king. And it seems Mubarak just left out the Persian part altogether and just decided to narrate the important part, which is that people who are ruled by women will never prosper. So all in all, the point of this is that Abu Bakr seems like the likely fabricator who wanted to deter people from siding with Aisha, so fabricated this hadith saying, hey, well, the Prophet said, if your nation is led by a woman, it will never prosper. Alluding to the fact that Aisha was kind of leading in opposition to Ali, and if you side with her, your nation will never prosper. Right, so this is just an anti-Aisha hadith. And that seems pretty clear.